Well, hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and this is quite an important video to make, and I felt this was the rightful choice to make it. Many of you may know, some of you may not know, but I know there are some of you watching, who may be watching, who already know this, but 6 months ago I faced a terrible fall, slipping over one of my slippers, resulting in breaking my 5th metatarsal in my left foot, and the pain is excruciating. Oh my goodness. And I slipped over my slipper and fell over, and the moment I stood up, I was suddenly standing up in absolute agony. The pain was excruciating, as I said before. But the very next day, I had to be sent to the hospital, A&E Brighton. Thankfully, all the NHS staff were looking after me in the hospital, but of course I couldn't have any visitors with me or anyone see if I was okay because of the COVID situation, well, the COVID mess, more likely. And also the absence of the COVID vaccine, not to mention, back in October of 2020. And here I was sitting at, I do not like a visit to the hospital. I really don't. I can really worry about the hospital. And I can get quite nervous. I mean, for years I've had stuff about hospitals that I totally dislike. I think the same could be said for anybody, really. But I was in the hospital. But honestly, all the staff and the nurses really cared for me extremely well. Honestly, I couldn't have been in a better hospital, better A&E, despite the fact it has a challenge of a hectic schedule ahead, which is enough on the plate for all the nurses and doctors there. But I just couldn't be more thankful for them, for looking after me in NHS following my terrible ordeal, enduring an ordeal like I experienced this time 6 months ago. I mean, and of course it did take me time to get better from it. Before, I would have thought it would take me quite a few months to get better from it, sadly. And I would have thought it would take me several weeks to get out of bed. But much to my surprise, I mean, of course, I did go back home. I didn't spend the night at the hospital, luckily. Thankfully, despite fracturing my 5th metatarsal in my foot, I did not need to spend the night in hospital. I did not need surgery on it, thankfully. I had to let it heal up. But I got back home. Obviously, I was given a lift back home. But I had to keep my foot elevated onto my bed with a pillow on there, and I couldn't. But sadly, because of my foot, I couldn't leave the bedroom. For I would have thought it'd be several weeks, but it took me around about another 4 days before I was able to get out of bed again. I mean, it was surprisingly a lot quicker than I expected. Like, really. I mean, it probably wouldn't be any surprise to some of you watching, but to me it was a tremendous surprise how I was getting better from it rather quickly. I mean, regaining mobility and regaining the things I enjoyed doing, obviously, but of course I had to wear a boot cast on my left foot so that it wouldn't postpone the recovery in what had happened following my excruciating ordeal, as you could put it. I mean, it all came back and got better very, very quickly. I mean, much more quickly than I could have ever imagined. I know what some of you are probably going to say. I think probably some of you are going to say, "Oh, you're a wee lad. You're you're a wee lad. You'll heal up in no time. You had a fall, and you break your little bunny. You're going to heal up in no time, young laddie. Oh, and some of you are probably like, oh, you are just a young boy. Your bones will knit up well. Oh, oh my God. Well, it's an interesting point if you're my age, but when you're my age, well, certainly when you get older, oh no, when you get older and not as fit, like for example myself, you'd expect it to take far, far longer to get better, you know. But oh gosh. But I mean, it's all getting back rather quickly, to be honest with you. Being able to go out and walking again. But to have a shower again, it took me a few weeks. But I was able to have a bath again within a few days. Luckily. And all that. So yes. I was very thankful that I got better from it in really considerably quicker amount of time than I imagined. But I think some of you are going to verbally slam me for this. Oh no. No. But yes, that's I know this is probably unnecessary to have made it, but I thought this was the rightful reason to have done it. And of course, but sadly, following the fall, I do worry, like I can sometimes worry regularly about falling over again, because once you've fallen over and fractured your foot like I have, you really, really do not want to go through that ordeal again. You really don't. Now, speaking from experience, you seriously do not want to go through an ordeal like that again. You really don't. And especially going through that excruciating pain. No, I'm not recommending it. It is awful. Oh. I mean, some of you are probably going to verbally slam me because I do sit down a lot more following the fall because I can worry about falling over again. But some of you, I mean, well, you can when you get older. You worry about falling over. It does happen. It's just a natural thing that can happen. There's no instinct or anything. But yes. I mean, don't worry. I can get about and all that, but I just worry about falling over. I think some of you are probably going to say, "Oh, you should not worry about falling over, for goodness sake. You're flipping young, for goodness sake. Oh my God, get out and do something. Get fit, for God's sake." I think some of you might say that. Oh no. Well, no, really, you do not want to fall over again, like I did. You really don't. I'm speaking from experience, quite seriously. Oh dear. But thanks so much indeed for watching. Of course, when you're getting older, absolute caution, I could tell you. Caution is your highest priority when getting older. Thanks indeed for watching. And in November, of course, I was able to take my boot cast off because I had to wear it for about 6 weeks after I fractured my metatarsal. And in, say, around about November, I will be probably talking a little bit more about my terrible fall and my foot fracture when it comes to the anniversary when I gave my final foot update, when I was updating a lot of you about how I was getting on following my terrible fall I had. Yes. That's obviously going to be November of 2021. Yes. Thanks so much indeed for watching, everybody, and I shall certainly see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. From Foxy. Ta-ta, another time.